I'm delighted to be here today with Margie McNally, and I am Pratima Penumarthi, the CEO and founder of Volunteering for Seniors. At VFS, most of us, or you might be knowing, our mission is centered around creating vibrant and engaging experiences for seniors. And we are deeply connected to understanding and supporting the diverse experiences of seniors. And that's why we are particularly excited to have here today with us Margie, of course, to be here and with us today. And she is not only a valued member of our community, but she's also someone who embodies the spirit of dedication and compassion that defines our organization. Margie, thank you so much for joining us. We are super eager to hear your insights and experiences as a caregiver and how they can benefit the broader community of caregivers and seniors.
Happy to be here.
Margie, before basically I dive into our conversation, could you please take a moment to share a bit about yourself with our audience? And we would also like to hear about your background, your experiences as a family caregiver, and anything else you feel comfortable sharing. So your unique your perspective and your personal journey will undoubtedly enrich our discussion.
Sure. Thank you for having me. I really am excited about being here and sharing my information with you today. I am a licensed interior designer. That's my background. Started in the early 90s doing interior design for both residential and commercial clients. And then I soon transitioned into sustainable design, which is design all about the environment, saving energy, healthy home, good materials to work with and live with, indoor air quality. And then to go further than that, I worked for an energy efficiency company and learned a lot about lighting. So all of this to say that as I, grew into my career per se, I saw different needs with different people. Some people were concerned about their environment. They have allergies, asthma, multiple chemical sensitivity. So I focused on that in trying to help people, choose wiser as far as materials, create healthier home environments for them and their children. And then just recently, during COVID, I had the opportunity to take a class on aging in place design. So fortunately, I didn't have to drive anywhere to take that 3-day class during COVID. So it was a great opportunity to do it. And I saw that need through my own mom, who is now 96. She was living independently up until last summer. And I saw a lot of need with her environment, like not having things accessible, breaking a pelvis because she was trying to get down to a lower cabinet and fell backwards. So I started making some modifications in her environment, poor lighting, like not being able to see what was in the closet. So she needed better lighting and motion sensors in her bedroom so that when she walked into the room, it wasn't pitch black and she might be tripping on something. So the whole culmination of specialty came together just this last couple of years with encompassing all of those things: sustainable design, good indoor air quality, good lighting, energy efficiency, and now this aging in place piece. Oh, you're on mute. You're on mute.
Sorry, because I was coughing, I just put there. Yeah. This is wonderful thing, just to hear about your experiences, of course, with the lighting, because we all know how important it is with respect to seniors and lights. That is one of the reasons one of the wonderful blogs was put on our website, which really gives a lot of information about how one can avoid even tripping and falling, in within the houses and other places, basically for seniors.
And not
Uh,
only for that, is that lighting can change our moods.
mhm.
Sometimes people say, "Oh, I don't like the newer lighting because it's too cold." So it's really about choosing the right lighting and the right color temperature. So I help people decipher through all the choices out there.
Correct. Yeah, wonderful. Margie, could you start even just by telling your typical day in your life as a caregiver, and what are of course, what are some challenges you face, and how do you navigate them?
Yeah, so my mom is now in an assisted living facility. This all happened within the last year since she had COVID in December of 2022.
Mhm.
And after that was not really quite the same. A lot of anxiety, a lot of depression,
Mm.
fearful of being alone, things in her independent living that were not working out, like leaving the stove on or flooding her cottage with water because she filled up the sink and walked away. And so we saw a huge change in her. And then we started talking about moving her into an assisted living facility, which fortunately is within the same community where she was living.
I see.
So it's been very challenging, to be honest with you. She resisted going, and we finally moved her over there last July, and there was quite a bit of upset with her, the transition, wanting to just be back in her own house or living with me.
Yeah.
That's probably my biggest challenge, is that I see her not thriving. Um, I'm independent myself. I work for myself and do a lot of work with the local housing authority to do modifications for affordable housing and senior living apartments. So I really enjoy what I do, and trying to balance that caregiving, because I'm pretty much it when it comes to caring for my mom. My brother is up on the North Shore in Beverly, so he doesn't get down here maybe once every 2 or 3 weeks, whereas I'm visiting mom every other day because I know she's upset and she's fearful and lonely. And so I find myself, just doing my work in the morning and then maybe visiting her in the afternoon, at least every other day.
Yeah. So the other question I have, Margie, is that basically how has you know, taking on the role of caregiver actually impacted your daily life and routine? Because it did a lot for many people in different ways, right? So just wanted to check with you.
Yes, I guess someone said to me once, it's always in your head. And that's so true, because when we have a loved one that depends on us solely, other than the people that are caring for her in the facility,
Mhm. Yeah,
basically the only family member that is nearby that can, be with her. Um, it's a lot of pressure, and I feel like I'm always thinking about her, what she's doing, if she's okay, if she's lonely, if she's sad. And so it's definitely something that has impacted my life greatly over the last 2 years. And it's funny because you don't want the end to come for them. You want them
yeah,
to just be happy and thrive. So you don't want to wish them away. But at the same time, it's probably the most stressful time in my life, just constantly dealing with crises at the assisted living before she was in memory care. And she has been diagnosed with Alzheimer's. So she will, she'll forget quite a bit of short-term memory is pretty much gone. She won't remember that I was there yesterday.
right.
Yeah, it has quite an impact on daily living. And constantly thinking about it. Everyone needs someone to kind of vent to, and I don't want to always burden friends with the never-ending saga. So I do have a counselor that I speak to. I'm also in a caregiver support group, which has been really helpful. Just a number of people that are kind of in the same situation with their spouses or their parents. So that's been really helpful.
That's exactly because that's what we all, I keep telling to a lot of seniors, or the others who are not even seniors and taking care of their parents, that getting into support group really helps. It sort of balances, and then realize that they're not the only one who are suffering. They're not the only one. Some of them take as suffering, not everyone, but they also need to know that there's always some sort of rewarding aspects of being a caregiver, and that's where I'm coming to. Is what are some of the most rewarding aspects of you being your mom's caregiver?
Oh, I've really come full circle. Like maybe a year and a half ago, I was just so constantly irritated by
Oh,
the behaviors because I didn't know. My mom has always been very high need, but this, was kind of out of hand with her demands. She would call me at like 10 o'clock at night and demand that I come over. And she would, my brother and I would modify something in her environment to keep her safe, and she'd change it back. So I think the biggest change that I see is that within the last year or maybe 8 months or so, I've really changed my whole attitude towards her. It's simply compassion. Um, I realized that, my mom and I didn't always get along, but I realized how much I love her and I have empathy for her. So I guess the biggest reward is just bringing joy to her on a daily basis or an every other day basis. I can turn her mood around. I can go over there and she can be very sad and just not wanting to live, not wanting to be there. And I can turn it around and I can say, hey, we're going to go. It's a beautiful day. Let's go for a ride, or let's take a walk around the community. Or I show her kind of funny things on Facebook, the cat reels. She loves cats. So
okay,
the
yeah.
way I can show her something funny with pets or animals, and just to hear her laughing, that is my reward. Today she'll come here for dinner. And
Okay.
even though
Yeah.
people advise against taking her in and out of memory care, I don't feel like it's, I think at first maybe bringing her back was difficult because she didn't want to go back.
Hmm.
I think she's kind of accepted it and she just enjoys it while she's here. And I enjoy having her here. My brother will come down and we'll entertain her for the day, and she'll see some nature, and it's all good. But that is the biggest reward, is just seeing the joy that I can bring to her.
It's wonderful, Margie. And how do you maintain your well-being? That's a big important question for me. Is that well-being and self-care while you're caregiving for your mother?
I I keep very active. I just recently had a short trip to Florida. Friends were asking me to come down all winter, and I could never get away because she had so much need. She broke her
Yeah.
wrist 2 days after she was in memory care. She broke her wrist. She's had a couple of hospital visits, so I could never get away. But I finally was able to break away for a few days just last week. I also I walk. I keep very active. I play pickleball, which is a lot of fun. 2 hours of like just complete activity and fun, and I forget everything when I'm playing pickleball. Um, I guess, I just try to be with friends as much as I can. Make sure that I plan things like lunches with friends and dinner. I like cooking for people. And honestly, I really enjoy, like when I go to her community, I really enjoy the people that are in with her in that community because
Mhm.
I feel like they don't see a lot of people every day. They don't have, a lot of people don't have family coming to visit them, which is really sad. And so I think when I go in there and I try to, smile or talk to them or, touch them on the shoulder or whatever I can do to bring them a smile. And I would love to do more as far as volunteering if I can get past my need to work and make a living. I
Sure.
would love to have more time to just do crafts activities with them, cook. I love to cook, cooking for them. So that's the future.
And according to you, or are there any resources or support systems that have been particularly helpful to you, in your caregiving journey?
Yeah, Julie Norstrand, she's with Caring for Aging Parents.
Okay. Yeah.
And she's a consultant. She actually is like a geriatric care manager. She has been wonderful. She is the person that ran the support group for people that are caring for loved
Mm.
ones. Um, there is a support group at my mom's facility. They've done a dementia live training, which was really helpful to see what it really feels like to have dementia. And then I'm always doing countless webinars and sessions on universal design.
Mhm.
Uh, I belong to SAGE, which is the Society for Aging and Gerontological Environments, and they're constantly doing webinars on good design for senior living. So I use that in my work, but I also apply it to where my mom is. I want to make her room as comfortable and pleasant as possible.
Wonderful. When you're doing so much, honestly, you're doing so much for the community too, Margie. It's not just one part of caregiving you're doing. And how has this caregiving, of course, influenced your relationship? Of course, definitely you told that and you are very much friendly person, but anything else you would like to add here has influenced your relationship with other family members or friends?
Absolutely. I have a lot of aunts and uncles that are in their 80s. And so from what I have been through and what I have learned over the last couple of years is always trying to educate them on modifying their homes now before a fall happens, installing grab bars in the bathroom. I have one upstairs for when my mom used to come, and actually she still did. She just came on Easter
Mm.
and she took a bath upstairs and I had a grab bar installed up there, but I use it every day. And so that's what universal design is about. It's designing spaces for everyone because any of us could have a disability at any time,
Sure.
could have an accident and definitely need that grab bar or that ramp or a wider doorway if we were to be in a wheelchair for a time being. So anything that I can help my friends and relatives with as far as good lighting, I'm all about doing that.
That's wonderful. And what advice would you give to other seniors who find themselves in a similar caregiving role?
Um, just make sure that you have a balance. It's not always easy. My mom will say to me, I don't want to be a burden to you. And I say, you're not. There's other people that are caring for you, Mom. I'm here on the weekends and maybe during the week a few times, but it's not 24/7. So I really have a lot of respect and compassion for those who are caring for people 24/7. I don't think I could do it. If I did do it, it would probably be a detriment to my health. But I just say, get help if you can. Make sure you take time for yourself. I know that's pretty cliche. Everyone says that, and it's not always easy to do, but just, getting out in nature and just doing what you like to do at least an hour every day. read a book, take a walk.
Yeah. And Margie, have there been any unexpected or surprising moments in your caregiving experience?
Oh, I think, some of the things that have happened, even when I was on vacation, I had told them I was going away and I had given them my brother's number, but they called me
Hmm.
down there literally when I was about to step on to a boat. And it was I thought it might have been my mom calling me. So I picked up the phone, but it surprises me how things can happen in an instant. She had fallen. Thankfully, it wasn't too serious. But she was fine. But just, like the assisted living that she is in, she was on the traditional side before. And I would be really kind of surprised by the frequency of crises.
Yeah.
They would call me and say she did this or this happened, or she was so agitated. She had like a little breakdown, and we're worried about her safety and her mental health. So just, like to think that she was going into an assisted living and that we were going to be like, okay, this is good. She's all taken care of now, and we'll only have to go once in a while to see her, or the frequency of the crises and how much you're still involved,
Hmm.
even when they're in assisted living. Because I take care of like medications, or I was taking care of all her medications, and she needed anything, I was there. I am there every other day with
Right.
things that she needs. So I guess that's the most surprising thing, is that you assume that when you put your loved one into assisted living, that your life is going to be easier for you. It's going to give you a little respite, and it really doesn't, especially if you're the sole, caregiver.
I agree with
Keep
you
that in
100%.
mind. You got to keep that in mind when you move them. And it's expensive. That's the other thing. The cost. My mom planned well, she invested all her life, and she moved into this community through my brother and my guidance, that if she couldn't be alone in the home anymore by herself, that she could move into the the assisted living portion of the community. And that's really what's happened. But we didn't expect the cost to be so high, and we didn't expect that we'd still be so involved daily.
Agreed. Yeah. That's the biggest thing is the cost. And again, not everyone can afford it.
Right.
It's pretty expensive. And one of my last questions is, Margie, how do you navigate the balance between respecting your parents' autonomy, of course, your mom's autonomy, and ensuring their safety and well-being?
I think she's pretty well supervised. Um, I had given her a cell phone when she moved into the assisted living. So I was able to communicate with her and know exactly what kind of a frame of mind she was in. Unfortunately, she could not handle having a cell phone because she would be up during the night and she would be calling people in the middle of the night, or she'd actually call 911 from the assisted living. So I did have to remove the phone, but it's very difficult because now I don't have that communication with her,
Yeah,
and I don't always know how she is, and that's why I go over so much, because I want to lay my eyes on her to see if she's okay. But it's very difficult. You're always kind of wondering and concerned about
yeah,
what's going on with their mind, and if people are actually taking care of them, and dealing with maybe the mood swing, like maybe the depression, is someone sitting with her if she's crying. That's the hardest thing.
absolutely. So I just, first of all, thank you so much, Margie, for this wonderful, conversation. And as we conclude our conversation with Margie, it's clear that family caregiving plays a vital role in the lives of our seniors. Margie's story highlights the profound impact that caregiving can have not only on the individual receiving care, but also on the caregiver themselves. So at VFS, we recognize the importance of family caregiving and the invaluable contributions that caregivers like Margie, they make to the well-being of seniors in our community. It's through their dedication, love, and selflessness that seniors are able to thrive and maintain their independence. As we continue our mission of creating vibrant and engaging experiences for seniors, we are committed to providing support and resources for family caregivers, ensuring that they have the assistance and guidance they need to navigate their caregiving journey with compassion and resilience. We extend our heartfelt thanks to Margie for sharing her story with us today, and to all the family caregivers who are working tirelessly to ensure the happiness and well-being of our seniors. So together we can create a community where every senior feels valued, supported, and cherished. Thank you. Thank you again, Margie, for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.